We're into game number 1 between TaToH and Viper. TaToH in the red, playing as the Saracens at the bottom of the map on Outcrop. Viper playing as the Khmer. Okay. I think Khmer makes sense here, but I was expecting them on Fortress. So we'll have to take a look at Viper's map draft after this and see how that impacts the game. When we saw TaToH play Khmer yesterday... Oh, I need to update casting score. When we saw Viper play Khmer yesterday, it was against the Hindustanis. Or no, he didn't play Khmer, sorry. Getting my civs all mixed up. We saw TaToH play Tatars yesterday. It was against the Hindustanis of Kingston. And TaToH took a lot of early cows on both sides of the map. And you can see that's what the players are doing right now. Taking the cows. Viper just missing those two on the corner there, but finding most of the others, or at least some of the others. And Kingston had just kind of pushed deer and wasn't too worried about the cows. And it seemed to work out. It's not, the cows didn't really help TaToH all that much in his strategy from what I could tell. Viper also missing some of the cows. I mean, I think he's going to go just, yeah, look through all these black areas. Should spot one. There we go. And in terms of Civ, I think Khmer... I mean, Khmer can still go cav archers and stuff like that. They're probably opening scouts, though. It might be scouts into archers, because that would allow them to skip the barracks completely. In this matchup, Khmer might still want a barracks for spears if they're up against a lot of Saracen camels with extra HP. Meanwhile, TaToH has so many opportunities. TaToH has been well known as a Saracen player for a long time. He's the one who invented the Tati Rush, or the TaToH Rush, where he used the market for extra initiative in the opening. And he's now moving over to push some of those deer to his TC. Very similar uptimes for those players. TaToH just one villager behind. That is partially the advantage of the Khmer. And Viper going for double lumber camp. I think that's because these wood lines are a little bit smaller. So he doesn't want to have to scramble up a lumber camp later once he's in the next stage. He has houses nearby to both of his lumber camps as well as his mill, so he can jump in there if he needs to, or when he needs to. It's likely that this is going to be fairly aggressive in Feudal Age. And you can see TaToH going for... Yeah, he has a rough idea of where he wants to wall. Barracks in front of his base. Mill on the side. 2 woodlands on the other side. I would say he might have an easier wall off, though the back of his base might still be a little bit open. Also a snow leopard back in the back of his base. A similar position where he accidentally left a hole open. I'm guessing he's not going to repeat that mistake now against Viper. Stable opening for Viper. No barracks needed. Another reason why he can afford the double lumber camp a little bit easier. He doesn't have to spend as much wood in this opening. TaToH also a stable, just a little bit behind there. And both players getting double bid-axe. Yeah, Viper, despite having the houses nearby, is still going to go for full walls from the looks of it. So maybe going to be going just a few scouts and planning on walls if he can get damage. Maybe add some archers in if he feels like the opportunity is there. Has golds, two tile golds inside of his base. And Viper's sending his scout out to the side to begin with. Oh, he sees 2 more cows over there that he didn't grab earlier. So that makes sense. He'll bring them back to his town center. And I don't think TaToH will be able to intercept those. And TaToH also doing some house walls. There's the market. And TaToH just sending his scouts back inside of his base for the moment. Both players playing very defensive, but Viper does find a Vil on this right side. He just wants to make sure that TaToH cannot finish the wall as easily. TaToH does have his spear and one of his scouts coming over to keep Viper off that area. Viper doesn't take a hit. I guess he was on stand ground, and TaToH's scout got the first hit. Viper with 3 scouts, TaToH 2 scouts and a spear, and it will complete that wall in front of his berries. And both players just maintaining scout production, maintaining villager production at the moment. And TaToH doesn't have his market up yet. I think this is going to be a fairly low military feudal age. And TaToH's going to utilize that market to try to get a timing. Though whether that's going to be... I'm guessing it'll be a mix of scouts and archers. Just going full cavalry gives your opportunity to your opponent to wall behind. Viper looping around. I guess just checking if TaToH has moved any villagers over to this right side, or potentially just looking for any more herdables. He does have those 2 cows in the back that he hasn't noticed yet. And Viper is going for range, but he is hiding it behind his walls. Just about to finish his walls, tapping them. And he doesn't know where TaToH's scouts are. Just hoovering, as some casters would say. Viper also getting horse collar now, and has been able to delay the farms as well. So perfect timing there. Something we see from him quite often. Because he had that fast uptime, couldn't really afford it earlier, but he didn't need to. He wasn't dropping any of those fast Khmer farms anyways. Viper with 6 on gold, so can't afford plenty of archers. And TaToH now using the market, selling 200 wood to get more food, and he's up to castle age. Viper must be expecting this timing. I'm wondering if the archers are just a transition, something to deal with the spears. It's always hard to know with Saracens if they're going to go for use the market for heavy feudal pressure, or if they're going to use the market to get up to castle age faster. And from what Viper has seen so far of TaToH's base, he knows that TaToH was full walling, and he saw the market as well. But beyond that, it's anyone's guess. He should also see the score dip, actually. He knows the score should be a little bit higher from all the scouting he's been doing with his scouts, but it shouldn't be so much higher. And TaToH's, I should say, shouldn't be so low. Viper continuing to make archers, continuing to make villagers. If he can hold off from TaToH's pressure, he'll have a pretty good timing. TaToH did wall the back side of his base this time, and I guess he just has a villager over here to repair any of the walls that Viper was thinking of making. Adding a blacksmith now. And Viper making sure not to take any unnecessary hits from that spear. Meanwhile, TaToH on the front of Viper's base, forcing Viper to repair a little bit with the gate. And okay, we do see ranges from TaToH. I think this is going to be cavalry archers. CA. Almost a similar approach that Viper was up against Mr. Yo yesterday on Land Madness, where Yo went up faster than him, got out a few cavalry archers a little bit faster, mixed in some knights, and didn't even have to switch to those stronger Saracen camels until much later in the game. Viper can definitely clean up the pressure at the front of his base, but I think he wants to make sure that there's no villager coming across that could make a siege workshop. He's concerned about the early pressure with TaToH's uptime. Viper's still not clicking up. Now he should be able to. There we go. So very similar situation to what he was up against yesterday on Land Madness. Saracens have been picked a lot in Empire Wars matches in the past. Especially in Red Bull Wololo El Reinado, which TaToH was just mentioning in his interview earlier. But haven't been picked all that much. I don't think they were picked at all before Mr. Yo's set yesterday against Viper. And I don't think Viper wants to show the archers yet, which is why he's not taking this fight. Also would probably prefer to wait until he get upgrades on them. Getting fletching now, and TaToH sees and runs away. And I think behind this, TaToH might just boom. You can use the market to buy back some stone. He can also just prevent Viper from going out to the wings where all the extra gold is. CA should be visible to Viper, though yesterday he was kind of slow with his reactions at times. Quite quick this time. Pulls the wood villagers off, makes sure they can stay to work. Archers are there to defend. Meanwhile, Viper's scouts trying to see if TaToH has expanded yet. What does TaToH have on this right side? Okay, a camel and a spear. AI army over there. And TaToH's just forcing little reactions. Getting Bodkin arrow now. Both players have a villager worth of idle time under the TC. Not massive. And playing pretty smooth, I would say. Just trying to find the small advantages here and there. Viper is up. Has 500 more resources collected just because of his later uptime. Had more villagers working. Trying to wall behind. I'm expecting a siege workshop. Oh, going for university. So maybe thinking sticking to archers and Bodkin rather than the scorpion play. that we kind of expect from Khmer. Getting crossbow and bodkin. And Viper had a hole? Or did his berries just expire? TaToH not deciding to go in. He knows that Viper has crossbows. And I think that ballistics timing would have really hurt TaToH if he had decided to go in. These cav archers are a little bit negated by the crossbows, so I don't hate Viper's idea here with going with the crossbows a little bit more mobile than scorpions if he had chosen that. You can always switch into scorpions later as well. But I think the Saracens have a much easier time dealing with scorpions than some of the other civs. Viper really focusing on this right side, expecting TaToH to move out there. And Viper will have ballistics in about 10 seconds. TaToH, on the other hand, getting bloodlines to make sure these CA can withstand a few more archer arrows from these crossbows. Second TC for Viper. So this is more of a defensive playstyle, not moving out to the wings yet. Just trying to use light cap to pick off either reinforcements or villagers moving out. And making sure that TaToH does not make an extra siege workshop that could harass these crossbowmen and give crossbowmen and give TaToH the advantage. TaToH behind still does not have any stone, is adding a siege workshop at home, so is thinking about finding a way to counter these crossbows. CA do have more HP than crossbows, but they don't have the better accuracy until they have thumb ring, and they don't have a range, which is the big one. And Viper wants to come forward to put the pressure on TaToH. Viper coming out for a house, of all things. And somehow TaToH just has a beacon almost right to those villagers. I think the villagers win that fight, but obviously something else to distract Viper. If he is distracted, he might take some scorpion shots as TaToH gets the first scorpion out in his base. One villager taken out. And the CA should finish off that last villager for Viper. He's trying to send her to the edge of the map, but I think she'll be found out by the CA. And TaToH will take a slight villager lead from that. Or I guess it's even, neck and neck. TaToH adding a second TC all the way in the back of his map on a wood line. Viper unable to find any damage with the crossbows. Still moving around. I'm not sure. He hasn't lost any HP, so I don't think he's come across that scorpion yet. But he might just make a hole in the front of TaToH's base, attack the gate. TaToH wisely choosing to wall behind, and now Viper sees the scorpion. Did pick off one villager. TaToH knows now that Viper has ballistics, and I think that scorpion should be enough to defend, but at least finding some way to get a small advantage. Meanwhile, TaToH is going to find a way into Viper's base, decides to pull back. I think he sees the scouts, and TaToH sees... Or sorry, Viper sees TaToH's town center being built. Though TaToH wisely has some CA there to defend. No ballistics, but I think there's enough defense here. And Viper sending two villagers off to the right side now. And is running away from a snow leopard. Does not want to take that fight. Viper doesn't actually have any stone for a town center. Does he have a market? He doesn't have a market. You want 3 TC in the middle. So these villagers are, yeah, just a mistake from Viper. Viper also running into scorpions and the CA mass, taking a really bad fight. And the advantage for TaToH continues, just completely outmasked. And this is the issue with CA, or sorry, with crossbowmen. They can just be out mobilized. And TaToH was able to mobilize his scorpions and cavalry archers to Viper's mass. Yeah, TaToH seems like he has all the initiative here. Viper does have the Vil lead, but he's just making crossbows for now, adding a siege workshop of his own, expecting siege from TaToH to come near his base. And TaToH is just very happy to attack on that left side consistently from Viper. It's what we've seen from TaToH a lot in these sets, is just redirecting the fight where he has the advantage. Viper finding a pickoff with those crossbows, and likely going to come back home to try to deal with these cav archers. Viper doesn't have the mass necessary to deal with them. Back at home, he's going to get some pickoffs with the extra range of the crossbows and the ballistics, and making sure to keep all of his villagers safe around the town center. Garrison might get a kill with the town center, and TaToH probably realizing there's not much damage he can do here. He's still going to explore with the scout, figure out what the follow-up is, or that scout might just have a mind of its own. A death wish, so to speak. There's Viper's market, so we can buy some stone to build another town center on the right side. And it looks like Viper is going to be in trouble again. The crossbow he had on the left side are going to be found out by the cav archers. TaToH dodging around ballistics until he can get in close, where those cav archer shots will land. But Viper has a long-range Scorpion that's also trying to get some hits in. So the fight for Viper isn't the worst. Also, that Scorpion is already affected by ballistics that Viper got earlier. Viper with 3 Scorpions, and the cav archers are forced to flee after the crossbow get taken out. Viper with a 10 villager advantage here. And now making that 4th town center on the stone, so he doesn't have to buy anymore. Back at home, Khmer farms can just be placed anywhere. No one has to ridicule Viper for his farm placement, though he does get pop blocked, gets housed for a moment there. And very interesting that TaToH's just made 1 camel, and it's just sat here on the right side with the spearmen to provide it some company. Now it's on the move. Okay. They're going to go find out what else Viper might be doing on this right side. The army for TaToH is expensive to replace. The cav archers are what he's focusing on right now. They've just been sitting in his base. And TaToH going for a 3rd range now, really trying to remass that. So I would say that's why Viper has the advantage right now. He has killed more high-value units. The camel and the spear look like they're going to be arriving a little bit too late to the town center on the right side for Viper. Viper should be able to clear them up by garrisoning. That is a strong Saracen camel, but 2 volleys from the town center, and it is in the afterlife. Bowsaw coming in late for TaToH as well. Wasn't able to afford those eco upgrades earlier. Scorpion versus Scorpion fight. Who has the better Scorpions? It is, of course, the player who already has ballistics. And Viper is microing the Scorpions, also bringing the crossbows and the Scorpions, or sorry, the skirmishers over to the left side. And yeah, should be a cleanup for all the Scorpions, though Viper has to keep moving. He can never stay still, otherwise the cav archers in siege will catch up with him. But he is doing a good job of delaying TaToH to get to that stone, and TaToH's mining camp position. Worse than what we were seeing from ACCM yesterday. Viper's lucky there was not an attack ground there from TaToH, and he's able to keep his archers alive as he's also attacking on the other side. TaToH might not have realized that was in the cards, losing a few skirmishers that are trying to defend against the Scorpions. TaToH does have a mangonel on the way though, so he should be able to push those back. And Viper is just sending these little AI armies forward. Now some crossbows, skirmishers, and another Scorpion. It really feels like TaToH needs to switch into cav, but he might not have the farms necessary. Has 24 on food. I guess he has, what, 6 farms left over from what he needs just to keep up constant villager production for these 3 town centers. And Viper choosing to stay in the area of that stone, just delaying TaToH a little bit more before he can collect that stone. And Viper choosing to shoot an Ibex instead of shooting against the CA. I don't know what the Ibex did to him. Maybe a little bit upset. And I think, no, Viper's not going to just let the... Ooh, the mangonel actually gets blocked by the cav archers and the gold positioning. So Viper gets a few extra hits on the CA before he has to flee. Looks like 2 Scorpions were taken out here on the right side of TaToH's base by the mangonel. Mangonel has 3 kills, actually. And Viper... Is it a 1-hit kill, actually? It is 1-hit kill, still going uphill. Scorpion does not have as much HP as the mangonels do. And Viper now has enough stone for a castle. He looks like he's coming forward to build it. Meanwhile, TaToH's doubling down on that left side, adding a second TC on that stone to make sure it stays protected. The cav archers do not look like they're doing enough here for TaToH. Cav archer plus mangonel is having some trouble. This is what we saw win the game for Viper yesterday against Yo. TaToH is able to take out the Scorpion and forced to repair his mangonel. Meanwhile, Viper has added in light cav to deal with the skirmishers. I think he just anticipated the transition there for TaToH. I don't know if he saw any scrims on the map yet. TaToH now adding knights of his own, adding more Scorpions. The knights are out. I don't know if Viper's seen it, but I think Viper realizes he doesn't have the military here to add the forward castle yet. He's going to go back to the right side of the map and build a slightly safer castle instead of one on a hill or right in the face of TaToH. But his boom is looking pretty good. Now 20 villagers, actually almost 30 villagers ahead. And TaToH just cannot find the engagements with these cav archers to make them worthwhile. Viper's just all over the map, just controlling map control. Still losing some units, but they're cheaper units. And he's clicked up to Imp. The start there for Viper was looking a little bit rough, but he defended well enough. He took initiative with the crossbows. And I think it's still the age of the crossbow. We may see that change with the new update if pathing truly is going to be improved. And Viper adding more archery ranges. Khmer do get Arbalest. They're just missing Thumb Ring. So might be lacking a little bit of accuracy. I don't know what those light cav were doing. I don't know why they didn't just finish that fight. Oh, I think he wants to snipe that Mangano. TaToH recognizes it. Goes for the attack round. It was quite a nice one. Viper just barely split between. And yeah, Viper's not going to get the kill. But at least you'll idle that stone mine a little bit longer from TaToH. Both players probably want stone to get a castle up. TaToH might just be left trying to buy it. And I think TaToH needs to do what he did against Hera to have a chance in this game and just go full castle age, 3 stable knights. He only has 1 and he's just making camels from it for the moment. Is getting the second armor. The other thing is when he was playing against Hera, he's playing with Lithuanians. Those knights can be upgraded to Cavalier, but with Saracens, you're stuck with knights, even if you do make it up to Imp. I'm thinking TaToH might call this once he sees the Imp in from Viper. He just has no map control, and he has very little going for him. It would really take a big slip up for Viper to lose this position. Starting this match, I was thinking Saracens would be the better unit, but Viper has just found a way to equalize this. Even has a Ballista Elephant here. I think he might have cut into the base with the Ballista Elephant and just causing so much chaos for TaToH. He does not get a spare breath to get his economy in shape. Sees Imp is in and might just kind of figure out one last ditch effort. He's going for the camels. He is selling food for gold, selling stone for gold. He is going for all-out camels. He's thinking these strong Saracen camels might be able to do it for me. Still has... Okay, just sent all the villagers back to work when I was about to say he still has some idols. TaToH's going to try to find a way into Viper's base to do some counter damage. There are a lot of farms in the back here that are exposed. So, could be a possibility if he finds his way in there. Does have ballistics now. I don't think he has Thumb Ring yet. But in his base, it is pure chaos. It's just all AR armies that are just sent to micro. Viper even finding the food for Arbalest, which is extra expensive nowadays. And I think Viper still wins this. Like have beat the camels, and TaToH calls the GG and game 1. I'm not sure where it fell apart for TaToH. I think he just didn't find the pressure he was looking for. I was thinking he might transition to TCs when he didn't get pressure with his early Cav Archer mass. I think what worked for Yo on Land Madness was there were multiple areas for his Cav Archers to pressure, and it's a little bit more of a bad map all spread together, or spread out. And here, it was a bit more streamlined. Viper was able to wall up his economy enough, have a base to keep things safe. I'm surprised this difference in an APM here. But Viper's clearly had his coffee. Whether that was 4 cups, 6 cups, 8 cups, I'm not sure. But yeah, he does not want to go out of this tournament. We're into game number 2 between Viper and TaToH. And Viper, without the Khmer, goes for the Burgundians instead. TaToH goes with the Bohemians that have been picked more than any other civilization on this map. Viper, instant double bid axe, instant horse collar. I mean, he's not going to be building that many more farms. I guess he might need to because he invested that food. And is taking the boar with his scout as expected. Both kings might meet each other over here. They're just going to scout the wings while the scout is busy bringing food to the town center. And TaToH taking boars, both boars at the same time. I wonder if he got the double hit. In previous games, he was just doing a one-hit attack on the boars. And it was leading the boars to kind of be outside of, from under his TC. It's not the biggest deal. The villagers carry a lot of hunt in their hands. I'm wondering if we see an early imp here from Viper. Like a fast imp approach. because he can kind of boom here in Dark Age or in Feudal Age, get an early castle, kind of do what ACCM did against Hart yesterday, where you prevent the Bohemians from getting up to that deathball composition in the late game, prevent them from getting to Hufnicha, prevent them from getting their Halb numbers up, and just getting their economy up so they can replace those Halbs. Because once they can replace those Halbs, it's just so difficult to get them out of your hair. Viper does have good chemistry, or good gunpowder units as well. His hand cannons and his BBC will be doing extra damage, but they won't have the extra range of the Hufnicha. And what else are they missing? They're not as fast once Wagenburg tactics would come in for TaToH. Haven't seen any kings really in jeopardy yet in this tournament, and we don't have Regicide, or yeah, we do have Regicide Fortress. What do you call it? Resources. Did TaToH already use stone? Why does TaToH have more stone than Viper? Oh. Wait, they just have 3... TaToH already took 300. I think he took 300 stone before he made this lumber camp? Would that make sense? He doesn't need the wood already? Yo, that's an interesting build order. Or maybe it's before he made this mill, but did he send 5 villagers over here? I guess he did send 5 villas over here and he made this farm. So it might be before he made this mill, he took 50 stone. 10 with each of the 5 villagers. Interesting. It's not a bad play. It saves you from having to build a mining camp. We saw Kingston just using the villagers to mine stone instead of even bothering with gold. But having a gold mine instead of a stone mine means that he can go for monks early and compete with those relics. Viper, meanwhile, 4 on gold, because he needs to collect 200 before he can get up to the castle age. Should have that with plenty of time to spare. TaToH up faster, because he wasn't investing in those resources. He actually could get some hits against Viper's scout if he had noticed it. And Viper just looking for TaToH's base. I guess you could imagine it could be over here as well. Could also try to find TaToH's king. If Viper loops back around, he could find TaToH's king. I think TaToH recognizes that issue and is going to keep his scout near the king. I say that. I think the king's okay. Viper would have to double back now. And Viper's just trying to find the base of TaToH still. Oof. TaToH playing risky, but sometimes you have to take risks, though I don't know if this risk has that much of a reward behind it. And they both click up to castle age at the same time. Did we have some idle time from TaToH? I swear Viper was up to the next stage a little bit later. Rest collected, 200 ahead for Viper, mainly thanks to double vid-axe. And if he has the food, he could get Bosa on his way up. Viper long range mining some stone so we can get 2 more TCs. I think also this was just a variation from TaToH because he saw the stone and the berries were so close together. So that shows that TaToH has that flexibility in his playstyle. If you ask TaToH what's the build order, he'd be like, I don't know, just do it. What's up, Ray? Who do we want to lose this set? Stop making early fortress exciting. It's not. No, I agree. It's definitely one of the most boring maps. And I forgot to put chatty on, so I missed your messages. Let me fix that. Who do I want to win? I don't know. I really don't know. I think I just want it to be exciting and back and forth. Because I'm pretty sure this set is what I want to see go to YouTube. And I've just been putting the best set each day onto YouTube. So far, game 1 was pretty back and forth. But Viper found the advantage at the end there. And, dude, TaToH just leaving his scout. I guess he's unhappy with how many relics he's found. And he's just checking if there's another one. It's actually on the edge of the map over here. There have been a lot of relics on the edge of the maps for Fortress. And so I think players really need to realize they go right to the edge. And, like, I mean, this one's 1 tile away. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Kingston versus TaToH yesterday. And we saw it was, like, right in this corner. Just 1 tile away from the corner. Really hard to find. So if you think that your opponent got all the relics, think again. Just send, like, Who's to the Air or, I mean, a Hussite wagon would take a while to map out all the edges, but Yeah. Keep your scout around. Send a Halb, I guess, would be the better unit there for TaToH, as he drops a second and a third TC. Won't have issues with stone access with that third TC placement. And Viper adding just one extra TC for now and a monastery. So he's looking for those relics. TaToH should find the extra relic in the back there as well. Doesn't see Viper's tower with the king, though I don't think king snipes on the cards for either player. Though we did see a king snipe, right, in one of the games due to Hufnice. I think I always just want the underdog civ to win rather than specifically the player. And I think I would say the underdog in this matchup is the Burgundians, because we've seen Bohemians be very, very strong. I think Bohemians could struggle with a mix of skirm and hand cannon. They're just relying on their own hand cannons to be better. I think the economy for the Burgundians is also potentially better in late game, or at least can keep those gold units coming out for longer with Burgundian vineyards. Fervor coming in for TaToH to make sure his monks and his villagers will be working a little bit faster. And Viper just moving out with scouts and Custilier. He has a Custilier ahead of the monk, making sure that everything's safe. And TaToH's scout is actually at home right now. I don't know if he ran into Viper's cab or anything. Also, TaToH has his king in the castle. The reason players don't usually do that is because there's a risk of ejecting your king when you eject your unique unit. And Viper going for this relic first. How many does he see? He only sees 3. I only see 4. Does TaToH already have one? Oh, he does. Wait, oh, Viper already has one. Okay, I didn't really look at relic placements. Oh, there was the one back here, right? Okay. So he stabbed that first. And yeah, Custilier just monitoring around. Scouts might meet each other. Are they on... Okay, TaToH's going to chase, but realizes it's probably not a good idea because Viper probably has the advantage here with Custilier. Viper sees it late and is going to chase down TaToH. Does Viper have husbandry? Or is that... I don't think he does. I think that's just the scouts... The chasing scout having better pathing than the escaping scout. And now TaToH sends out his monks. Might run into that Custilier, though. If he sends 2, he could get the conversion, but I think he's just too late, even with Fervor speeding up those monks' little legs. Mene hu hospitita. And the monks stop as their target... Oh, no. They just stopped on their own. Okay. I was about to say that they stop when the target is taken. TaToH even getting Sanctity. Investing that gold to make his monks a little bit beefier. Custilier looking... Oh, I think that's a delete. That's a delete. That's a delete. Viper deletes. Okay. Very smart play, and now the monks just can't chase it down. I think... Does TaToH get away with his scout? He's 1 hit away. And the Custilier does not choose to chase. Okay, he's just gonna stay with the monk. Viper, I don't think you get the conversion there. I think you just kill those scouts. Maybe he saw that they had Sanctity. And Viper does not get the conversion there. What's the play? Viper's gonna try to block? Oh, he gets the conversion! And now he just has to run out of monk range. Was this monk using the built-up conversion from the other monk? I'm not sure. But TaToH shouldn't be able to get that back home. Viper at the same time is housed going for handcart. And TaToH adding some barracks now. Thinking there might be some pressure coming in from Viper. Viper has to make sure that the conversion isn't switched to the Custilier, which I think it is. And I think that monk goes down. The relic stays in the middle for a little bit longer. It is a higher HP Custilier versus TaToH's converted Custilier. And still 3 TC for both players. Oh, 4 TC. Excuse me. Viper going outside of his base to where his golds are, both on the back of his base. So fairly secure. Oh, TaToH's are even more further back. But the problem with TaToH is there is a hill there, so he can't really build a TC right in between them. He's also building a university at the back of his base. And Viper can actually delete a few more walls. The back of his base is just up against the wood lines and the edge of the map. So it's kind of safe there. And so Viper, at the end of the day, is going to get 4 relics, and TaToH is getting 0 until he sees the relic on the left side. Viper doesn't see it either, but he hasn't scouted around TaToH's base all that much. TaToH, first one up. So despite Viper having more relics, there's still the concern of the Bohemian deathball. But can TaToH get to that deathball with just 3 TCs worth of economy? Only 67 vills. Viper now looping around. TaToH should see that and not lose a villager. And not lose a villager at all. Just passing. Okay, makes sense. Nope, Viper always sees it like 3 seconds later and comes to take out that villager. Also sent the scout around the other side. I'm guessing that means... Oh, you got the conversion right. I was about to say he got a stable. And Viper thinks better of looping around into TaToH's base. He just wants to see what's on the backside. There might be a hole in TaToH's wood line now if the villager chops through that tree. Could be useful later. Okay, TaToH has moved his king to the tower to the back of his base, recognizing there is a threat there. And villagers are ready to come forward. Forward siege for TaToH. He's getting pikemen, he's getting chemistry before he even hits imp. It'll be in 20 seconds after he gets there. Viper going for ballistics and fletching. Is this a skirm play? He might be opening skirm. I was about to say, is he opening cav archer? No, that's a bit too crazy. Burgundians have I think they might have the worst cav archers. Do they get heavy CA? I don't think so. Where's CA? Yeah, they don't get heavy CA. They don't get thumb ring. And they don't get bloodlines. So it's bracer plus ballistics and chemistry and husbandry. Like the fact you don't have a heavy CA means you have no none of that bonus of the extra accuracy that heavy CA provides. Something like Persians, who Persians that might have thumb ring. I might be misremembering. Oh, something like Khmer missing thumb rings. And Viper just has scouts chilling back here, and Custodia trying to run off the map. I guess they don't really want to be in this matchup either. And Viper sees this castle at the front of his base. He's getting Burgundian vineyards before things get too crazy. He's thinking skirm and cavalier. Okay. But the problem for Viper is these archery ranges might not last very long. Bomber cannon's already out for TaToH. And Viper still needs 10 seconds to get to Imperial Age. Does he have university? Okay, another castle in the back. Does have university. Does have the resources for chemistry, which I think will be that first click. Oh, he's going for masonry first. Maybe not too concerned about matching bomber cannon numbers. And the scouts get found out and killed very, very quickly by the pikemen. I don't see Viper winning this. TaToH has all the initiative. The best hope for Viper is he can take a good fight, and TaToH doesn't have the economy to replace the pikeman numbers. Like, having a Hussite wagon underneath your TC that just doesn't die is so frustrating. The Hussite wagon should just stay there. It completely idles Viper's economy. Viper also getting oh, he's getting a trebuchet here. Conscription from the back castle. Does the treb come in? No, treb does not come in. Masonry did not do the trick. And Viper just pulling skirms to the back of his base for now. And trying to take out reinforcements with the skirms. I don't hate this. Completely surround TaToH's little forward. Will TaToH go for a 4TC boom behind this? I don't know if he expects this to get a ton of damage. He is lucky that Viper put all of his ranges forward. That's kind of to be expected. Viper going for Paladin. Viper's just trying to find his own timing window here. Paladin plus skirm. And I love this skirm placement. Just picking off the reinforcements. It doesn't make sense for TaToH to try to micro against them. And he's going Wagenberg Tactus, which make the micro a little bit better. Converted Custodier just walking through Viper's base. Viper realizes that he's going to add more ranges behind. He hasn't shown any knights yet to TaToH. So TaToH might think this is pure skirm and bombard cannon or hand cannon defense. There's the first hit against the skirms with the BBC. And where is TaToH's... I guess he's not adding any more pikemen. yeah, this Paladin timing might actually work for Viper if he has the food economy to keep adding more and more Cavalier slash Paladin. He's also missing a lot of armors for the Paladin. He's mostly just going to be relying on the extra HP they provide. Cavalier might have spotted the Cavalier, or sorry, the Cuisinier might have spotted the Cavalier coming around. And Viper might just take the fight to TaToH's base. The TaToH has walled up completely. I think TaToH will be okay here. And Halb is in as well. Because I think he spotted... I mean, it's a natural progression. And I think he also spotted the Paladin with his converted Cuisinier. That, I think, just got deleted. TaToH building a castle on his exposed side and sees now all of Viper's army. Viper's not getting that timing that he was looking for. Can't really deny this castle either, just trying to trade it off with villagers. Viper does see there's some houses here. An exposed part of TaToH's wall. TaToH going to wall behind it with stone wall. And TaToH soon going to have the resources for Hofnice to keep this push up. Viper has one Treb behind and has Paladin. So can push from two directions. And TaToH might be distracted now as the Paladin are trying to push into these walls. Bomber cannons are pulled back to the castle. And Viper's getting the last armor on his cav. Looping around the other side. The Halbs are being very patient. Viper trying to split up those skirmishers to get some pot shots. But TaToH repairing as well. How long until these... Okay, the Paladin could get through the wall in like 20 seconds or so. And TaToH does have holes in his walls that we mentioned earlier. He's trying to add more economy behind this. I think the good thing for TaToH is he didn't go for too crazy of walls like we saw a little bit yesterday from... I keep forgetting who that was. ACCM was playing against Hart, yeah. Hart went for some big walls and just it wasn't working out. ACCM was able to find pressure left and right of his base. Devotion and architecture coming in for Viper. That is the one thing that might make a BBC matchup or mirror a little bit difficult, as if the Bohemian monks can just convert his BBC. And Viper looks like he's just about ready to take this fight. Halbs are a little bit out of position, taking some shots from the skirms. BBC need to get some shots against the skirms if they want to lower their numbers, but I think TaToH recognizes he is outmatched here. Paladin trying to get some hits against these Hofnice, and they're just kind of freezing against each other. But the Hofnice might all go down. They do indeed. And I think the skirms just stay under this castle. There's nothing here to threaten them. Viper completely decimating this forward push from TaToH. And TaToH is now at 112 villagers, but I think he needed a bigger boom behind this. Tried to wall up behind with a gate. Was just a little bit late there. There are some Halbs to deal with this pressure. So I think TaToH will be able to keep his villagers behind his economy safe. Skirms have been cleaned up. I don't know what did that. I guess they're missing last armor. It might have just been Halbs. There are 3 more barracks here as the castle goes down. And Viper is expanding over to the sides. Castle to the right side, TC to the right side, and a TC to the left side. Using the extra mobility of the Bohemians. Or sorry, the Burgundians. Getting all those extra upgrades. And he's going to get a free Hofnice because there's one in that siege workshop once he destroys it. The way Hera was able to win with the Bohemians is just to mass so much Halb. And that is all that is coming out of TaToH's economy right now. Problem for TaToH is he's still just very low in terms of villager numbers. I think he needs another extra TC to really get him to that crazy level of economy where you can just keep replacing Halbs over and over again. He's probably also looking for the late game. Actually, maybe not, because he doesn't have any relics. I was going to say he has the more trash-heavy army with all of the Halbs. But eventually he won't be able to replace the Hofnice. Has a big bank of resources for the moment. Looks like wood is actually his limiting resource. And Viper walling in TaToH deciding, you know what? We both can play at walls. You can just stay in your base, though. Hofnica could get through the walls fairly quickly, but it's just another thing that limits TaToH in his expansion. Gives Viper more of a head start in the pushback. Halbs are there to raid, and some Hofnica, or sorry, Hussite wagons get cleared up by the Paladin, roaming around, making sure that TaToH can't expand. Viper also has 2 trebs over here. I think TaToH would have seen that as his Halbs were going down. Fortified wall in for Viper as well. I guess partially for his base, though there are big holes in it, and partially just for this wall off on the right side. Does TaToH recognize he's just trying to push middle? I think he has to kind of push middle. I don't think he can react to this right side push, though he is moving his units over. Viper also getting a block printing to give his monks extra range. I think this might be a mistake for TaToH. I mean, he doesn't want to lose or leave openings in his base. But I think if he's constantly chasing Viper with the more mobile units, he might be in trouble. Viper recognizing that the Hofnica are killing his Paladin. Big cannonballs raining down on his cavalry. The reinforcements for TaToH are getting picked off by Viper skirms. And Viper has 50 on gold. So those are farmers that are slowly getting a trickle of resources as well. Specifically gold. What is Viper thinking with the monastery over here? TaToH doesn't have any relics to steal. It might just be monks actually to convert the Hofnica. Viper gonna lose this position a little bit. And Viper actually baiting on the right side, it almost looks like, and trying to attack on this top side instead. Just trying to fight anywhere where TaToH isn't. Force TaToH to keep reacting. I think Viper is just going to allow this castle to go down. Maybe have some Paladin here to try to snipe a Hofnica if he can. But castle goes down so quickly. Not enough Halbs here to defend for TaToH, and Viper's going to eat them up with his Paladin. Skirm's also coming in to clean up any remaining Halbs. Yeah, I mean, Viper's just using the mobility perfectly. Is throwing away some units in the process. Is taking the wood in the middle of the map as well, because there is a possibility if this goes crazy long that wood becomes a limiting factor. But for the moment, it looks okay. And what is this relic, actually? Who found this relic? It was the one on the side of the map. I think it was Viper when he was walling over here. And he made it all the way back to near his TC. And now TaToH's just building double outposts. Oh, he's building a tower on the gold. Weird placement. I don't have range mod on right now. But really odd placement. TaToH bringing his military back in the middle of Viper's base. Or back towards the front of Viper's base. Viper, does he have sappers? I don't know if Burgundians get sappers, but deciding to use villagers against the Hofnica will at least distract the Halbs to some extent. And Hofnica trying to snipe these Paladin a little bit. Viper has a BBC in defense to try to snipe the Hofnica as well. Viper's push completely died. I think he's just pushing from different angles. To be completely honest. I think he knows he can't fight the Halbs straight up. So he's just trying to fight in different angles. Vills are actually taking down this tower on the left side. There's Halbs there to try to keep the tower up, and one villager. TaToH villager to help repair. And the tower is on 115 HP. I think the problem with Viper is he's not getting the ability to send the... he's not getting the opportunity to send those villagers back to those extra golds. And now that all of the Paladin got cleaned up as he was trying to snipe the Hofnica, he has to just send villagers to snipe it instead. Viper needs to make sure he doesn't lose too many villagers. He has 8k food in the bank. But all the same, don't lose too many villagers. He's actually going to be out of gold. How does TaToH have such a big gold bank? I guess he's just selling. Viper should have been selling. He's going to take this gold back on the right side, though. How much gold is left? Good question. 6k, about. So I think it's some over here, and some on the left side, And I doubt there's any in any of the players' bases. Viper might find some snipes on the Hofnice on the right side, though. Halbs are a little bit out of position. We'll get one, I think. If he gets two, I'll be surprised. Is losing Paladin in the process, though. And that's the problem, is once Viper runs out of gold, he has no more Paladin. I hope he's teched Light Cav. But I'm not sure he has. Is bringing a lot of gold, though, with Burgundian Vineyards and the 4 relics he has. So I don't think he's sweating yet. We got a douche in the cards, but needs to take out that TC first, I think. And the Trebs are rolling back around. Was Trebs over here as well. Did they roll all the way around back to Viper's base? No, Viper, don't lose your Trebs. I think he sees that with the Hofnice, yeah. And there's going to be attack rounds. Viper trying to dodge with the Trebs. Viper also replacing a lot of skirmishers. But I think his Paladin days are coming close to over. Does Viper have sappers? I don't know if Burgundians get it. Where would it be? In siege? Or in buildings? Oh, there it is. Miscellaneous. He does not have it. I mean, he gets it as a civilization, but he has not teched it. And is able to escape with 1 trebuchet. More scrims over here. He is getting guilds now. I think TaToH did just get the initiative, though, selling. Viper's selling a lot of food for gold now. And we might have a Treb fight on this right side. Viper, yeah, Viper still has a monastery over there. Who got the 5th relic? Looks like TaToH did. And he's slowly bringing in that gold. Yeah, Monk just dropped it off. So well done, TaToH, to at least get some gold income behind this. Can you click the button above Team Game Fortress to see? Oh, exactly. Reset on the map. Okay. Yeah, I'll just leave that up. So yeah, 4,500. And still some stone on the map. I'm guessing that's in player bases? Or no, that's over here, right? Is that... Or was it on the side? It was on the side. There's 200 of it. Wow, Treb actually gets taken out by Paladin. Viper, I don't think, wants to give up this area. Can snipe some Hofnice because there aren't that many Halbs over here. Most of the Halbs are on the left side. So yeah, we are getting quite close to Trash War. Viper does need to have some of units of his own over on this left side. I think this is enough for Skirms to... Like, if Skirms can clear, like, half the... What do you call these? I'm losing words. The Halbs, then the Hofnice should be able to be cleaned up by Paladin or Light Cav. Hussar now coming in for Viper. So at least he'll have gold for all the crucial techs for a late game. And Viper is able to take out the castle with the bomber cannons of his own and should be able to get back to that gold. We have a pause. Let's see if it's anything specific. It might just be a break to allow him to drink or something. Yeah, 4-1 relics is really big. And it might have been a TaToH pause. I'm hoping TaToH still has plenty of barracks to produce. Only 7 barracks, actually, to produce Halbs. He's going to lead a lot more once it goes full Trash War. I mean, even right now, he's producing out of all of them. He has 12 in queue, so more than enough for the buildings. Big fight over here. The Halbs are out of position. TaToH is going to be able to send it back. These Hofnice are so fast with Wagenburg tactics. And Viper wisely brings those back. In Viper's base, he's kind of losing the fight. I think he might need more ranges to deal with the pump out skirms. Oh, this is interesting. TaToH sending Vils forward to be able to resupply his Halbs from the front. And I think Viper might be losing on both fronts, both in his base, where he has his king in his castle, and on the right side, where he has like the last access to gold, is raiding a little bit with the Hussars, where TaToH is taking gold right now. But look at the snipes that the Hofnice are able to do on the skirmishers. And Viper just constantly on the retreat. This is why Bohemians get picked so many times. Ooh, that bomber cannon barely is able to dodge the Hofnice shot. But the Hofnice can also just... what's it called? Race it down. Viper on this other side. gonna have a hard time against all those Hufnice. Just needs to slowly whittle down the Halbs. And Viper just spamming. I mean, he's running out of wood is the problem. So I was saying, he's not replacing the villagers that he's losing. He also has like so many villagers just idle over here. He's spending so much time just microing all these bombard cannon slash Hufnice fights. I think he might clear this, but TaToH is just replacing all of the barracks in his town center. Or in Viper's base. I don't know why I said town center there. I'm getting too excited. I'm not sure which this is going to go. Viper loses this castle, but might clear up some Hufnice with the stables he has forward. There's not many skirms or Halbs left over here, but I think TaToH is going to resupply the military just in time. Viper also making some hand cannons with the gold he has, hoping that'll do a little bit better against the Halbs, clear them a little bit faster. Might even be able to snipe the Hufnice. But Viper's definitely on the back foot. Only has 185 pop space, and 160 of that is filled. He has some gold. Oh no, that's TaToH. Sorry. Viper just has food. That's it. And he doesn't have the production buildings. He's trying to expand, maybe to raid TaToH on this right side. But TaToH still has Halbs there in defense. I think we're going to have quite the set on our hands. I don't see Viper coming back from this. KD is also ahead for TaToH. I almost think Viper needs to kill before Hufnice comes in. TaToH even affording elite Hussite wagons so that he can put Hussite wagons in front of this skirm mass. Hussite wagons are actually really solid for trash wars. You completely negate the skirms almost. Just Hussite wagon plus Halb. Only has one castle though, all the way in the back of his map. And I mean the same thing goes for Viper. Viper looks like he's clearing this. I don't know how he's rallying to clear this. Maybe because TaToH is focusing on the other side as well, making sure the Halbs are in position for the Hussite wagons. And TaToH doing a great job of repairing all of his, not Hussite wagons, but Hufnice. Wouldn't it be better to know he has gold for near infinite BBC? Yeah, instead of using the Hussite wagons. I mean, TaToH could always sell. I mean, he still has 1k6 gold in the bank. I do think that it's better just to save the gold for the Hufnice slash BBC. And Viper's still holding. I mean, he's on full trash right now. The little bit of gold he has is going to go to BBC. Pulling the Halbs out of position a little bit. I think Viper might dive now. He's finally getting his pop back up. King's still in that castle though. So Viper really needs to only fight here. I was saying earlier that one of the advantages for Viper is if he can take, force fights in other areas. Use the mobility of the Hussars. But right now that's not an option. He needs to fight at home. BBC are being chased down by the Hufnice. And Viper loses both of them. They're just such a strong unit. But now Halbs are out of position on the wrong side of a house. I think Viper gets at least one Hufnice. Vils are constantly repairing. Desperately repairing. Does he get one? He does get one. Okay. And TaToH still has 1k3 gold. This could be a long one. We're just about to reach the hour mark. Viper now back down to 160 pop as he loses all of the Hussar. He at least has the production buildings now. He has enough archery ranges for the skirms. And he has more and more stables. But if TaToH starts pushing on the right side, then Viper might be struggling for wood control. Viper really can't access the left side at all. His bomber cannons are also just kind of sitting on the right side, or in the front of his base. He might be forgetting about... He did convert one Hufnice. If he can keep that up, that's actually pretty strong. And TaToH recognizes it, gets the devotion, doesn't want that to happen again. TaToH also going for cav armor. Is he thinking of adding his own light cav? Could actually be good just to raid Viper's woodlines. Very weak Hussite or Hufnice over there. That's one that you could rush with Vils. And I think Viper realizes that, and TaToH realizes it, and he just pulls it back so he can get a villager to come repair it. The ability to repair your siege amidst all the other chaos that's going on is crazy. Viper has to repair his castle now, only has 33 stone. Can't get around to the Hufnitsche. Is rallying his BBC, at least some of them, to try to snipe the Hufnitsche, keep them moving instead of firing. And I think Viper gets one. TaToH's not paying attention. He's not playing dodgeball. Viper even going for the further Hufnitsche, thinking it won't be the one that gets dodged out of the way. And Viper holds. Does he buy the stone to repair his castle, or does he just move his king somewhere else? Can't really see the rally point. Viper still have one vill over there. I guess vills that were trying to take out the Hufnitsche. I don't know if they were successful. Do we have kills here? We do have 2 kills. And a bit of wood in the bank. And TaToH pulls back. Has Viper held? I don't think so. I think it's still going to keep going. But what is TaToH? He's adding his own light cav. Okay. Maybe he's waiting to raid Viper in other areas. And then he'll come and push again. Or he's trying to push from a different direction? I'm not sure. I think he was pushing. His push was good. TaToH leaving one Hufnitsche behind. One's trying to be converted. TaToH can't really afford... What's it called? Faith? He does have devotion. That's a little bit cheaper to get. But I don't think he wants to spend the rest of his gold on faith. He is still mining gold, I guess. Just about to run out over here. And still has gold over here. But he had to send the villagers to repair his Hufnitsche. And stone over here. The fact that he was able to take the extra resources from Viper is what's keeping him in this game. And Viper, finally now with the wood bank, able to make more production buildings. And try to raid over here with skirms. He just took a few good fights by sniping the BBC or the Hufnitsche from TaToH, and that's what gives him an opportunity to get back in here. And Viper at 200 pop. Ready to expand back out. Build more lumber camps that were destroyed. Try to keep TaToH off the resources he wants. And get the stilly production buildings out of his base. He's tired of this. Both players back up to 200 pop. We have a reset. And Viper sees the light cav. I wonder what he thinks about that. Is he concerned? Or does he think, okay, that just means less pop for halbs? Which has really been what the problem has been so far. Viper using the Hussar to raid. That's the other thing. TaToH is going to have his villagers more and more exposed as the game goes on. He's completely out of wood inside his base, except for this little patch on the right side of his base. And Viper's BBC are a lot safer when there isn't any cavalry on the field. Fight looks to be on this right side, where the Hussite wagons are, and Viper was trying to take more wood with, I don't know how many villagers, 25 villagers, and Viper clicked the button. Yo, Viper went Flemish Militia. I did not see that coming in. I mean, it's such a fast tech, and suddenly TaToH's on the back foot. Did we see Flemish Militia in a tournament game? It's all units forward, just getting armor now. I mean, TaToH has no units that counter Flemish Militia. If anything, the light cav he's massing are counted by Flemish Militia. TaToH has no food bank anymore. Could drop quite a few more farms. That being said, the Flemish Militia, I guess they're fully up, or no, they're just getting the first armor now, so they're not the tankiest unit. He could get arson for them as well, so he can take out these forward buildings. Viper out of res, yeah. Viper can't replace his villagers at all. And that was a desperation move. I don't think it was worth it. He said before he doesn't think it's worth it. I don't really understand it. It does seem like desperation, but was it necessary? TaToH's going to build some towers around the remaining gold. I don't think it was necessary. He has the gold. He might end up having to buy food to replace. His pop is down to 160. TaToH's still higher. TaToH is lacking skirms. Yeah, that would be a good counter unit. After clicking this, Viper can replace or make more of these Flemish Militia, but I think they're always just worse than Halbs. Don't they cost gold? I think they cost gold to make as well. He's getting more armor, and he is able to replace villagers. He's buying food for gold just to replace villagers. Buying food to replace. Selling wood to buy food to replace. I think he could have prepared a little bit better for this Flemish Militia push. He's down to 140 pop, and TaToH's still pop capped. I think he just had the better options for raid. And if he just raids with Hussar versus TaToH's lousier light cav, he's in a fine position. Viper making sure all the villagers are on food so that he can get his pop back up. I mean, Flemish Militia get... ooh, okay, might find some Hufnitsa. 11 plus 4 versus the Halb's 6 plus 4. So definitely stronger there. 15 versus 10 attack. And the Halb bonus damage doesn't apply at all to these units. If TaToH had enough for hand cannoneers, which he has just barely enough gold for, that would be nice. Scrims will also do well against these. They just have the 4 infantry armor they get from the blacksmith. Yeah, playing 3 more games is a bit rough. I don't think Viper has the stamina he used to have. And TaToH's ready to push again, maybe not. Hufnitsa are going back and Halbs are going forward. He might just try to raid, knowing that Viper has limited villagers, and his villagers are his most critical resource right now. Viper does have 4 TCs, or 5 TCs soon, on this wood line. And he's getting his pop back up. But he's still 150 versus 193. I mean, he said before that there were 0 use cases for Flemish Militia clicking the button. And yet he's still making them here. I think he sees that there's hand cannons on the left side, so he's moving most of his Flemish Militia over to the right side. Also see, that's where the Halbs are coming into raid. What if we see the button and this comes down to a King Snipe? That would be wild. Yeah, I think it is the best use case. Use it in desperation when it's a trash war, when there's no clear counter to them. If Viper had armor when he started, I think it would have been a little bit better. What if it was a misclick? What if it was just a misclick and Viper just made the best of it and didn't want to resign? That could really use arson. Oh, these are bombard towers. I thought they were keep. He's just chasing after Vils. I think he takes out the bombard tower with these. He doesn't have arson, right? Infantry. Oh, he does have arson. Okay. So take these out a little bit faster. Hand cannons are a little bit out of position. What would he have wanted to click? I have no idea. Maybe a Treb? Sappers? Did he get Sappers earlier? He might have tried to click Sappers. And he instead clicked the button. Maybe it was just a hotkey issue. I don't know. Villagers repairing the bombard tower. And it goes down. And full skirm plus Flemish Militia army on this right side. The raids from the Halbs were pushed back by Viper. Viper up to 60 villagers. Half the vill count of TaToH. Yeah, I think this is the only use case where Flemish Militia are okay. That, or if you're like dealing with mass camels and your opponent is like all in somehow. I can't think of the situation. But these light cav are still finding use on the field, sniping one of Viper's BBCs. And he's sending more along with Halbs over to the right side to make sure that Viper can't take any more wood. I think the longer this goes, the better it is for Viper, because if it's just a wood game, I prefer his ability to raid. I guess there could be a case where it gets down to so little wood that the mobility of the Hussar doesn't come into play. It's just defend your wood lines with Halb and hold. And then the tournament coordinators might be like, do we do a re? If it comes to a stalemate, do they just re? Viper, oh, almost looked like he was getting a conversion there, but there was just one Hufnitsa attacking somewhere else, and I think Viper's going to call this now. His king's going to be under attack soon. He doesn't have... I guess he has a little bit of stone to repair if he wanted to. But he's down to 73 villagers with raids. I guess it's going up to 73 from where he was. Yeah. They keep proving to everyone that the button does not work. I don't think that's what lost him the game, though. I think it was just he needed more when he's up against Bohemians. He needed to change up the strategy a little bit more. It's crazy that Bohemians was the last pick for TaToH. And there go the relics, and that should be GG. You think it's working with Flemish and Skirm? I mean, he has no siege on top of it. Usually you need Flemish and siege and enough of a food bank to replace. But with the way that Flemish costs now, you can't really form a food bank. Or it's really hard. I guess it's based on the number of villagers you have. The cost is adjusted based off the number of villagers you have. Yeah, I think armor would have definitely been needed. The Viper doesn't have the stone to replace town centers. He's stuck at 65 vills. He's making farm TCs. In the one area that he still has production buildings. His king is still here. He's going to try to take back the relics, which are super important for him. And TaToH's looking for the king. He's taking out towers. He's making sure the king does not have anywhere to retreat to. If we look at the score, we can tell this is over. But I think Viper might give him the king snipe. He's just going for the entertainment more than anything right now. Flemish Militia are going to take down the Hoofnitsa. Hoofnitsa are kind of stuttering a little bit. He wants the king snipe. He wants it so bad. And TaToH is finally out of gold. How many Hoofnitsas does he have left? He's made a few hand cannons. He's making militia on accident instead of halbs. And he only has one Hoofnitsa left. He's using bombard towers to control the wood lines. And Viper calls it GG. Yo. Oh my goodness. The towers are really smart, yeah. Because Viper has nowhere else to take wood. And that's, I guess, more than the relics, that's what determines this game. Viper would have to use all of his 59 villagers to try to rush down these bombard towers. And he's losing yet another TC that he can't replace because he doesn't have the stone. Still, yeah, once he gets the relics in, he could theoretically buy the stone, build another TC somewhere else, maybe down here in the corner. But I think he just needed to use his mobility to his advantage earlier. He did it from the start, but there was just times where TaToH was able to come forward. We're into game number 3 between TaToH and Viper, and I was completely wrong with civilizations. I thought we were going to see, what'd I say? Byzantines versus, what was the civs again? That we were seeing Byzantines versus Vietnamese. Instead, we have Romans versus Franks. I was confident Viper was going to play Franks on enclosed, but he might be saving Vietnamese there instead. TaToH going for the Roman play, though. That's a surprise as well. Romans is an Arabia pick. Exactly. I mean, Romans are a civ where you can kind of be inventive because the meta isn't super well developed for them. They were seen as just, okay, this is a civ that has a decent economy bonus with the extra villager activity. The faster collection, the faster building, the faster, not faster speed, the faster repairing. But otherwise their tech tree is a little bit limiting. They were the first civ to get their scorpions affected by ballistics. Meanwhile, I mean, Franks have been around for a long time. I guess the only recent change has been that their castles aren't as cheap in Castle Age. So Viper can't get a huge advantage with knights and then just dominate. Keep a castle on the front of TaToH's base. Viper does have a nice back gold. Berries is okay, but the side of his map here is very, very open. Does have 3 wood lines on the other side, so that should be an easy wall off. So maybe palisade walls here, production buildings here. This little forest on the right side is kind of a joke. And a cliff in the back of his map. When's the last time you saw cliffs on Arabia? There is a pond, but I don't think Viper's going to be able to get to it to fish trap. And TaToH has a very forward gold, but the wood lines are a little bit more typical. Both players clicking up same time. and able to push all of their deer in. I'm guessing it's going to be one lumber camp for both players. And how's Viper going to wall this? Oh, he's walling like that. Okay. I think I prefer palisades there and wall here. Oh, he's like, this doesn't actually help me. Let's just wall closer. I got a lot to wall. So I like that better. It does potentially have two easily accessible golds. And scouts are fighting in the middle. Viper gets the first hit, but TaToH finds a hill. Viper not reacting, or being slow to react. I guess he was... Oh, building a gold mine. He's thinking archers as Franks, as an opening. Okay. There always is the chance that Romans will go for those man-at-arms that have extra, or are affected twice by each blacksmith upgrade. Blacksmith armor upgrade. And TaToH, has he seen? Okay, he has seen the mill for Viper, so he's just keeping it safe, scouting around. He's getting quite close to the TC, potentially? No, okay. He knows the TC wouldn't be that close to this edge of the map. And now he sees the TC, can avoid it. Viper could wall him here, wall him in here. But I think he's just like, let's just play smart. Just go for the range. Don't waste the wood unnecessarily. He only has 34 wood in the bank, so it would be a difficult thing to pull off. Unless he wanted to delay his range. And TaToH going for the stables. Alright. We've seen Light Cav and Scorpion work out quite well. TaToH could also just add in range units from an archer range leader as well. Once he confirms Viper's opening, he should see from that foundation that's an archery range. Frank's not going scouts as wild. I mean, he could just transition to scouts later. I don't think this is too crazy. We see a lot of scout and archer play in the current meta. He might just be trying to get Romans to play range units now, rather than just playing scouts, walling up, and relying on scorpions later. Yeah, I think opening scout is still quite common. But I think, yeah, it's just that he wants to adjust what TaToH's game plan might be. And so 2 spears, 2 archers. TaToH just runs into that. And his response is an archery range. So Viper probably got what he wanted out of that. The archery range won't be that helpful later for TaToH. If Viper is just on heavy night production. Whereas I think the archer range could be helpful later for Viper. Wow, TaToH taking so many hits. I think Viper is taking a good lead in this map right now. What was I saying? Archer range might be helpful later for Viper if TaToH goes heavy into those pikemen that get the extra effect from the blacksmith armor. And TaToH can probably expect that Viper's military is going to come around this right side, since that's where his scout is, that both players recognized. And TaToH's scout is going back, I think, to deal with this pressure that Viper's cooking up. TaToH behind, just dropping farms, going for a blacksmith, most likely for fletching. And he should see that TaToH has skirms, and he might just go right back home. And just think, you know what? Getting TaToH to go skirms was all that I really needed. Viper's still producing more archers. He's going to want to make most out of this fletching. And kind of leaves himself open for a moment. But I think with the spears there, as long as he keeps running away from the skirms, he should be okay. TaToH getting town watch, so he can make sure he sees the archers from a little bit further away. Make sure he can track those. Viper regrouping with more archers and another spear. And adding a stable now. So that's kind of what was expecting.
Okay.
Also sending more villagers to the berries now that he wants a bit more food collection. And those Frank foragers will be able to collect those berries quite quickly. Scrims are just sitting by the berries right now. TaToH has kind of walled up the rest of his base, getting a blacksmith of his own. And I think Viper just wants to hold this position until he can add his scouts. The fact that TaToH has his scouts back towards his base defense means he won't see that stable addition, but he can probably expect it. TaToH stopped skirm production for the moment. I guess he has limited food for skirms and villagers. Hasn't had much idle time on his TC, though. And for scouts coming forward from Viper's stable now to the right of TaToH's base, Viper also has this nice ridge line to work with to get the hill advantage, but is pushing back for the moment. I think he saw that TaToH has armor, or fletching now, and he's getting leather archer armor. Oh, he cancels it. Okay. Does he expect the scout edition? It would make sense. And these players have played so many Arabia games. They can kind of expect what's going to happen. The Viper's trying to change up his position. So right now, TaToH must either be thinking, okay, Viper's gone back home, and he's just going to wait until Castle Age. Or he's looped up all the way around here, which is unlikely, based off what he saw. Or he's on this left side, and TaToH finds the archers and grabs one with the skirmishers, leaving his scouts to counterattack. And now TaToH again goes for leather arch armor for his skirmishers, because he sees that Viper is doubling down in this feudal age pressure, which he's done so many in so many sets this tournament. Eos. And once again, TaToH unable to find any damage with his scouts, sending his scrims out, and he's thinking, you know what, I can take a fight here. Viper sees the scrims are out, and I think he just pulls back to a hill, and then he'll feel a little bit more confident engaging. There are quite a few hills in the middle of this Arabia gen, and Viper's making the most of them. Wheelbarrow coming in for TaToH, so his villagers will be extra efficient, carry more resources, move a little bit faster than they already are. And Viper going for big walls and second stable, but I think this is for knights in Castle Age, which will make these skirmishers redundant. I don't think Viper's going to be investing any more into these archers beyond the 11 that he has right now. Yeah, beautiful play here by Viper. Castle Age is going to be much faster than TaToH. Does TaToH have market? He is building a market now, but only with one villager. So I think he's just going to get up organically. It might be 2 villagers behind, I think, to click up, not, you know, in population. And Viper has to get these walls up fairly quickly if the scrims were going forward. But I think the scrims are just playing it safe and staying back at home. How is TaToH behind his Romans? Because he invested in the scrims. This is what Viper opening archers did for him. It forced TaToH into scrims unless he was able to full wall his base, which he wasn't able to do super quickly. And now the scrims are kind of useless because, okay, Viper is adding more archers. I take it back. I thought he was just gonna hold off. So it's just all the food that he's invested into scrims that's really held him back. Because otherwise the KD is just 1-1. I think it was an archer for Viper and I'm guessing a scrim for TaToH. Viper pulls back the weak scouts, assuming that's what's going to be focused down. Trades, I think, a full HP scout versus his weak scout, which is a solid trade. And once again, taking the initiative by having his army forward. TaToH adding more scouts now that he's up, which I like as well. Might be able to help clear up these archers. Has full armor on these scrims, so wherever the scrims are, Viper's units can't really fight. Viper also bringing forward a villager, I'm assuming for forward siege. So I think this is going to be Botkin. Get. That's crazy economy. You can get crossbowmen, Botkin arrow, and 2 knights in production, while keeping up villager production and getting a forward siege workshop. That is a masterclass of macroing on the way up to Castle Age. Didn't have too much chaos and is kind of limited. Also has forced TaToH off his forward gold. Behind Viper can already afford another TC and a Mangonel. What does TaToH do? I think he just hopes for a good fight here. He's fighting before he gets, or he can't even afford elite skirm. He has to buy it because he doesn't have the gold. He has the wood. He's spending the wood on 2 more town centers instead. Okay. So he's thinking this is just a feint from Viper and that there's not that much pressure coming in. Little does he know there's going to be a Mangonel on his face, and this hill on TaToH's base is so strong. I think TaToH's going to go for the counterattack instead. Viper still does have a hole in front of his TC. Could use a gate there. But otherwise, I think these light cav are just going to run into walls the same way in Feudal Age. They were just running into spears and weren't finding any opportunities. Viper is going to slowly take a villager lead for now. Oh, Light Cav are just going to loop back around. It doesn't really make sense. Maybe trying to surprise Viper, but because Viper had those 2 knights arriving in perfect time, he's set. Viper also not investing in any more mangonels. This is purely a case of forward siege is an economy advantage. It just gives him the opportunity to keep TaToH at home, make sure all his villagers are happily working back at home, and indeed they are. A few idols, and dropping those farms with a free heavy plow that Franks get. Getting the 2nd armor on his knights as well. So if he can maintain villager and knight production, he'll soon be able to start diving TCs, start nabbing villagers. He has the free HP that Franks get on their knights. And TaToH's kind of forced to match knights as well. Does Viper see that TaToH's 3TC? He does. So he knows that TaToH's choice is either to invest food into villagers or to invest in military. TaToH's going for the dive. I think Viper's a little bit out of position, not having the crossbows on the hill. Is able to get the knights in between the mangonel and TaToH's cavalry, but the mangonel still goes down, and now Viper's pressure here doesn't matter all that much. So Viper's going to add another mangonel to put TaToH on a timer. He's also maybe thinking of looping around. And, okay, the scouts and spears go back. I don't understand that. And the Castle Age army stays to fight. Oh, the scouts and... Oh, this is smart. Okay. They go out to make sure the mangonel can come out. Okay. Phew. Viper keeps the mangonel garrison. These guys are all on span ground, so Viper's actually going to lose them for free and needs to bring his military back. So well played TaToH to recover a little bit there. He is down by about 10 villagers, though. And Viper has added a 3rd town center on that back gold that he had safe in his base and the wood line next to it. Viper might be able to take out one of these stables. There's not that many units here for TaToH. He can't really engage against both these. So Viper's trading his siege workshop for TaToH's stable. Knights are ready to run in on those skirmishers. And we see some cavalry freezing again. Just classic. Behind this, Viper thinking about collecting relics and going to stone for one of those fabled Frank castles. Mangonel tries to get some damage in, but is unsuccessful. And yeah, traded the siege workshop for the stable. I think I would like to see Viper, move around, keep TaToH garrisoning his units, or his villagers specifically. And here is the next wave of knights. So TaToH is going to be unsure where to fight. TaToH tried to get the wall off, but just in time, the knights get in for Viper. I guess just in time is relative to who you're rooting for. TaToH splits off one knight to fight on the other side. Meanwhile, the skirms are getting cleaned up, so the crossbows have no counter anymore. And Viper can take a really good fight in the back of TaToH's base. TaToH has cleaned, walled off the front of his base, so it's just this military pressure in the back. If he can contain this somehow, he's okay. TaToH can't really replace his knights because he only has 8 on farms. Viper just sitting on the farms in the back of his base, around the mill, around that starting TC. And all the remaining skirms are cleaned up. TaToH's forced into investing just into the knights, which is probably what he would have wanted to do from Feudal Age. But since Viper went on to archers earlier, it forced TaToH to react in adding skirms. TaToH hasn't really misplayed all that much. Maybe just going 3TC was a little bit too greedy. He expected Viper to go for more of a boomy approach himself, but Viper wisely added siege first, and now he's adding a 4th TC on another stone mine. So we can definitely expect a forward castle. He's adding more stables as well. I think he wants to end this in Castle Age. He's not going to wait for Imp. Trying to get snipes on the villagers. TaToH's just dodging out of the way. Viper does have to keep focusing on his military. And how many relics has Viper gotten? He's gotten 1 in now. Another monk bringing back another relic. Viper's scouting. Okay, he doesn't see the other 2, but I'm guessing he'll send a monk over there. And the monk have good enough vision. TaToH taking the fight here. And I think this might be the last fight. TaToH kind of microing those knights away, but still taking a bad fight, and there's the GG. Romans was always a weird play for Arabia, and Viper showed that Franks are still a very good civ. I think it also helps that TaToH didn't have, sorry, what am I trying to say? Yeah, TaToH didn't have great counters to Franks. Like civs that exploit the fact that Franks are almost always relying on knights. When it's just this knight mirror or knight civ mirror, Franks will just do better. Now Costa Mountain for game 4 is a nomad start. Both players electing to just build their town centers right where they start and bringing in an elephant immediately for that starting food. Both players also seem to be coming to the middle area to build their docks, and TaToH gets a little bit of a quick wall to make sure he can get his dock down. Berber villagers are faster, so arguably better, and Viper just got Loom, so he's going to try to block with the camel and kill TaToH's dock villager, which is huge for the overall build. Persians definitely want to be able to get that dock because it works faster, just like their town center works faster. The camels are a bit slow, but seem to be working. Viper is just going to be microing this like crazy. Hopefully both players still have food under their town centers. If they needed to go try to find another elephant, they're going to be in trouble. And Viper gets the kill. Dock is delayed for Mr. TaToH, and also losing a villager early in the game is not ideal. And there is Viper's dock very far forward. Yeah, 0 damage on this build because I think TaToH realizes he doesn't have Loom. He doesn't have that opportunity. Viper's Loom click was very, very quick. That's like one of the advantages of having Loom even on a hotkey, is just being able to look back to your TC super quickly, or not even looking back, just selecting your TC like on a hotkey. And is Viper going to take an elephant? I think Viper might take an elephant back to this dock and harvest it. Or he's just going to lame the deer. What is he planning for? I mean, you could lame the deer and then bring the elephant back to the dock. I think he's looking for the elephant. Or no, okay, he's just looking back at home. And now he's going to lame. I mean, yeah, I think Berbers are really solid on this map. They have so many mobile units between the camel archer and their knights, their camels. Now TaToH getting Loom himself. I mean, he's not really utilizing this wood. He might be adjusting his build to go play water later. Oh, he did sneak a Vill over. He just brought her to the opposite side of the map. Viper with the faster villager, I guess, gets that up a little bit faster. And okay, Viper's just going to lame the elephant. I was thinking he could bring her back. Yeah, I'll say this is a female elephant. That makes sense. He might bring her back to his dock. And then if you just wall in the villager here, you can click the shorefish to switch the villager from a hunter task to a fisherman. And then you can drop off the elephant meat, which is now somehow fish meat. It transmutates at the dock. You can also just like collect it a little bit, and okay, he just wants to keep laming. I see. Doesn't care about the shorefish the villager would bring in. Yeah, the lame is definitely worthwhile. Or Loom is definitely worthwhile when you get the Vill kill. And ooh, Viper has to be careful that TaToH doesn't trap that camel in. The camel is very, very useful. Like, the camel will be able to allow Viper to see if TaToH is on gold. And also allow Viper to do a bit more laming, identify those resources. Viper's going to go for a sneak. Well, no, it's not a much of a sneak if he kills the hunt. Okay, maybe not. Because if he makes a range back here, but it's probably more risky of a play than he wants to make in a tournament setting. Still getting a huge lame. I think the lame is actually working out in his favor. TaToH might be struggling for food and have to rely on farms earlier than he wants to. Back at home, Viper has 2 elephants under his TC, clicks up to feudal age a little bit later than TaToH, and TaToH does have 2 fish of his own versus the 4 of Viper. So might be... Is Viper going a little bit greedy? I don't know. He is going to go barracks and make sure he doesn't lose something on... Sorry, that was so funny. Converting the sheep and then killing it immediately. Is Viper going to go for another lame? Yeah, he is. And TaToH needs to take the elephant first, but he forgets to. And now TaToH's actually just helping for the lame. TaToH needs to get a house down here. Reset. Oh, he gets it. Oh, he doesn't get it. And Viper's going to do the same thing and realizes that TaToH's going after the elephant. TaToH goes for the house block again. The elephant has barely any HP left on it. And TaToH didn't get the elephant to reset before building the house. Or before shooting it. And now he's going to chase, or he's just going to take the food. He might as well. It's still good food. It's live, so to speak. And Viper behind this has the resources for a stable. He knows that TaToH's economy is in shambles. There's just rotting animals all around TaToH's TC. Ah, what a way to go out. Being lamed to death by your teammate. Not looking good for TaToH, but he is on water, making a second fire. I think Viper might just give up water. He's happy with the food he's collected so far. Moving his fishing ships around, and TaToH's just gonna sit next to that dock on defensive stance, or maybe patrol. Viper looks like he'll get this load of fish back to the dock. That 15 food. Scouts for Viper are about to come out now. He scouted most of the map, I think, with the camel scout, but might want to do a second pass to figure out where the resources are that TaToH is taking. Or he even still has that forward villager too, which could be up to some shenanigans. I thought she would have gone home, but no. Might as well just stay forward. Spears coming in, and I think TaToH had spotted the stable earlier. Definitely spots it now. Horse collar coming in very early for Viper. I guess he's realizes he's losing fish, and he wants to get that now rather than later. TaToH going for the big walls. Fairly easy to wall up on this top side on the hill. The mountain, so to speak. But once you get down here, a little bit trickier. Yeah, TaToH is just expending a lot of wood. But I guess it's probably the best counter to the scouts, so to speak. I think it might just be a little bit late or too expensive to pull off. Fight on water and defend on land. I guess attack on water, defend on land. And that forward Vil making the archery range. Sees the walls, and Viper is taking some idle time. I guess he did time horse collar just perfectly. I guess he still has an elephant behind his base. But he needs a lot of villagers on wood and gold if he wants to get these archers out. Scouts go under the TC with minimal losses. We just have one spear in defense for TaToH. Making another one now. There it goes. I mean, he doesn't see the archery whatsoever. Would he expect it? I don't know. You would think Viper is definitely ahead in economy. And so might just go for a faster castle age into a boom. Or even a faster castle age into camel archers. Viper again just runs right under the TC. You'd think TaToH would recognize that and maybe wall up a little bit. Viper starts engaging against villagers, trying to get little pickoffs where he can. Camels are so in here, could be used to block. And Viper losing very little HP. Now TaToH sees the archer. No fletching on it yet, but Viper just playing ring around Rosie with the spear. And TaToH's forced into some small walls. Spears will be behind. Would love to see TaToH actually bring a villager over from the wood line to try to wall in these scouts. And Viper, I think, just took one hit there with the spear. Now getting fletching. So he's going to be delayed going up by quite a bit. He's looking for damage here. TaToH thinking about the quick wall, but just a little bit slow. Obviously, lots of things for him to focus on. He has quite a few farms around his town center as well to make sure he can get up. Scouts are just going to slowly mess with the spear. Try to get this up. Where's the spear? Oh, the spear went down to the archer. Do we have any other spears for TaToH? Just the one in queue. TaToH really needs to get this tower up. Has to fight with villagers underneath the arrows with fletching. And he's losing more and more villagers. TaToH just lost the 3 fish. Viper just lost the 3 fish earlier. And a villager somewhere. I don't know how that happened. Maybe to the boar, actually. Do we see any... We don't see any bodies over here. But now TaToH's the one losing his villagers, just trying to keep this wall up until the tower went up. Over here, the camel's just scouting to see if TaToH went to the bottom side. Yeah, Viper's playing really, really well here. I wonder if Viper was able to pick off the villain practice at all. Maybe he got close before. Because the loom timing, I mean, I was coming to the game a little bit late because it's hard to get in perfect timing, but it seemed like the loom timing was almost even before Viper saw that TaToH was up. And they actually clicked Castle Age quite similar times. Viper with about 400 resources more and quite a bit more map control. Skirms are here as well for TaToH. I think that might have been a second building. Skirms now getting fletching as well. And what is Viper thinking for the follow-up? He does have the stable from earlier. He's completely unwalled at the top side of his base. Just has kind of made a little bit of a wall to the town center. Getting bloodlines now, okay. It might be knights plus archers, though you might not have any archers left. Viper trying to block the skirms. And, okay. Maybe a little bit sloppy there, though I don't know if Viper wanted to stay on archers with how open this map is. Cav archers seem like a much better play. And Viper going second stable, okay. So it's probably knight pressure or just a knight camel matchup. And TaToH also making his own stable, getting horse collar now for his farms. The good thing for TaToH this game compared to the last game on Arabia is he's not forced into as many skirms. At least for now. We could see Viper. Viper's selling stone for gold. Okay. He still can make a second TC. But he's thinking heavy cap pressure. Still like a villager behind TaToH. And Viper still has the hut in front of his TC that he can continue to collect as the skirm and 2 spears arrive to Viper's unwalled in area. But he's ready to just fight off this trash play with villagers if needed. Getting bow saw because he has those extra resources available to him. And it's already 2 knights. And he's thinking about going out on water. He has, I missed that. He has 2 fire galleys. Soon to be war galleys. So he's going to make sure that TaToH's economy on water isn't going to keep him in this game. Has to pay attention to that because TaToH still has a fire galley of his own, or 2 actually. And yeah, Viper brings that back. Is cleaning up the trash army from TaToH that was just probably getting him scouting information more than anything. And TaToH going for light cav. Did he think that Viper was just going to go low military play, try to collect relics, and he thought this was just a relic fight? Possibly. Viper will lose 1 fire, but will win overall unless TaToH was to reinvest, which I doubt. And I think Viper's looking for hunts down here? Or is he looking for a place for his second TC? It might be the later. Okay. So second TC down here. And does... No, TaToH still has holes in front of his TC, but he does have a monastery and monks in defense. So TaToH is playing this like it's just a monk and light cav kind of set up with a few camels scattered in to deal with the light cav. I think TaToH has kind of read this a little bit better. Viper selling the stone just to get the cav or the night timing didn't make as much sense. And Viper recognizes the conversion's about to come in, sees the monk coming before the conversion noise hits his ears, and runs back in time. TaToH also opening another hole in his wall just to make his villagers a little bit more efficient as they collect wood, as they cut down those trees. But could be another opportunity for Viper to sneak in. And Viper could add fish again, but I think he just wants to make sure that TaToH is not on water himself. So the military lead favors Viper, but I don't think he can do all that much with it at the moment. Yeah, I don't know if the redock was worth it either. I guess I think there's just PTSD from Viper from that first game against Mr. Yo yesterday, where Mr. Yo only had 1 dock and he was able to fish boom like crazy. And Viper just didn't think to pressure it, or didn't have the opportunity to pressure it with the walls. So this is turning into a bit of a boom game. I think Viper jumps on this monk. The other one's going to drop the relic off to try to get a conversion as well, but Viper is able to run away in time. Has a monk of his own to try to get a conversion against a camel. Camel sees that 1 spear and is like, yeah, let's get out of here. We didn't care about that monk anyways. He wasn't our friend. Always bossing us around. And Viper's trying to cut off the monks with the light cav. Yeah, how is Viper? I guess Viper's 10 vills behind because he came all the way down here to build a TC. And I think TaToH just read the transition a little bit better. Viper's decision to go into sell the stone and go into knights out of 2 stables didn't make as much sense. TaToH somehow got 125 stone. Did he do the trick with mining it and then dropping it off? He must have long distance mined it. Because he has collected a bit. He started at 350, so that's 30. And that's 32. I don't know. Viper is going to catch up, though, I think. I mean, TaToH's also Persians, right? So Persian TCs produce villagers, what, 15% faster in Castle Age? That's significant. Also, Persian docks are going to last forever. So Viper can't try to use the dock to improve his economy until that goes down. I mean, he could. It just wouldn't be as safe. And Viper just going to keep a light cap over here. But I think TaToH is going to get in all the relics that he wants. The relic positions have looked a little bit better for TaToH. That being said, Viper has gotten 2 in already as well. Okay. And the last one's up here. And I think Viper gets this one. The relic heist is on. 2 camels. Camels would probably not show themselves. TaToH recognizes it, and he might send his military over, but it's on the wrong side of the map. Okay. TaToH gets half a villager's HP with the camel. And now it's camel v camel. Viper could drop the relic and go for the conversion. We've definitely seen that do that before. Viper is relics. I mean, relics might be very important in this matchup, I think. I think this is the kind of map that goes late game. But I agree. Viper was definitely a player who has favored relics before they ever seemed that important. And camel gets deleted. Yep. TaToH deletes. Alright, Doc might... Okay, finally goes down. And behind this, TaToH's thinking... double barracks and stable. This might be a Knight Pikeman play, yeah. I think TaToH's hoping that Viper's going to under-invest in Castle Age, not spot these buildings because he's scared of getting too close with the monastery there. And click up to Imp, and then TaToH has the timing. So very similar to what he did against Hera, where he's able to kind of come back into the game to some extent because of a timing. Viper has his monks here. He's starting conversions, and he's going back. How long will it be until he sees the pikeman? Once he sees the pikeman, he knows that TaToH's investing quite a bit more in Castle Age. Seeing pikeman tells him so much. But it's all about whether Viper gets that close. He sees it. He sees the pikeman. Theoretically. I mean, he's taking a lot more damage. He's also choosing to take the fight. Maybe he doesn't see the pikeman there under all the cavalry. He gets, what, 2 conversions? Loses his monks. And I think he pulls back. But now he clearly sees the pikemen, right? Sees their little pikes waving in the wind. Look how sharp they are. How pikey they are. And forward castle at the same time. I did not notice this. Double castle drop by Viper to take this upper position, which I think is very, very important. Meanwhile, down here, TaToH is building another town center along the shoreline, which would be ranged by War Galley. I think it was the first set I posted to YouTube from day 1, which would have been... Was it Vipe? No, it was Hera versus TaToH. And someone said that TaToH could have tried to use cannon galleons to win back some position. But then Hera was like up here, and I guess to some extent that would work. But maybe some War Galleys could range this later. We'll see if Viper's feeling that creative, or if it comes to that position. But at the moment, it's just a lot of pikes, and Viper trying to run away from the pikes. But he has so much going on here. He's actually taking pretty bad engagements. And TaToH taking a big military lead. Viper making camel archers out of the 2 castles. And thinking about pushing up at the top side while defending back at home. Building an outpost. Did he see that villager coming forward? I don't think the outpost goes up. I don't think the outpost goes up. And he might not see the siege workshop in his face soon. If he does, he would send... I mean, I think he makes more stables and just send the unit back. Also, the fact that Viper didn't wall is really hurting him. I guess he has walls up here, but he just has a big entrance to his base. I think villagers can fight all of this off. And he's opening some walls just to get reinforcements back. And sending... I think, yeah, he's sending most of the camel archers back home. Knight's also running under the TC because they just get +2 armor. Viper has so many idle units. Oh, TaToH doesn't see the castle foundation. Viper has an opportunity to get the castle up before... Oh, it's rams! I thought it would be mangonels. Rams can take out castles, of course. And camel archers aren't great at defending. Viper is sending camels over here, but will this castle go up? I think Viper loses a lot of villagers here. Oh, no, I think he's... I'm going to say he loses 7 or 8 villagers. But can he keep the castle up is the question. Viper needs to send everything back. You would think as practice partners, Viper would have seen this before. That TaToH likes to go full castle age pressure after a bit of a boom on Costa Mountain. He's getting Thumb Ring for his camel archers to give him extra accuracy. Make them fire a tiny little bit faster. And yeah, once the camel archer mass gets high enough, I think Persians are in a bit of a difficult matchup. And TaToH kind of choosing to go back for a moment. Camel archers need to be micro back. Thumb Ring is in, so 100% accuracy. And they have quite a bit of damage. 7+2, right? That's pretty good for a ranged unit. Especially a ranged unit that can just continually micro back. Doesn't have anything really to micro back towards other than this town center. The ram push is still coming, though. We have monks again. Viper leading to make sure that there's no conversion. Sniping the monk. Rams are in. I think the camel archers are doing a good enough job of containing the pikemen, preventing the reinforcements from getting from his rams. And there are pikemen coming out from the rams. But I think Viper is held. 2 forward castles are still in TaToH's face as he's the first one to click up to Imp. I think Viper's not too far behind. Getting masonry. Already got murder holes to make sure that TaToH can't just run units underneath his castles for free. Katie still favoring Viper as well. And I think he'll be able to clear up this forward pressure. And yeah, camel archers, so difficult to deal with. I mean, are they fully upgraded for castle age now? He's got ballistics. Yeah, I guess he's just missing the second armor. TaToH gonna run out of wood if you can't pressure casters? True. He still has some in the back. But how long is that gonna last? He also has the wood down here. But it's very, very exposed. I don't think camel archers are gonna let him stay around. Does have Persian TCs to keep him safe. Though they only have fletching right now. And TaToH coming down here for another gold mine. Further away from the camel archers. And there's TaToH's TC at the bottom of the hill. That's a weird position. I think I would prefer to see TaToH's TC... Oh, he can't build it up there because of the camel archers. I was going to say, I think I prefer to see it like at the top of the hill here. But there's no way for him to wall this off to get that safe. And Viper coming forward with a castle of his own. Nothing here can stop this. The camel archer mass is just too strong. Viper's done a great job cutting off reinforcements. He'll be 50 seconds behind TaToH to Imperial Age. Camel archers are pushed away back to their castle. Yeah, the fact that Viper got these 2 castles at the top for free is kind of crazy. You always see this when you're watching Viper stream, is sometimes he just gets away with these castles because he redirects the attention somewhere else with the fight. He's not great at redirecting fights, I would say, but he uses the opportunity when the fight is somewhere else to get the castle up safely. Viper getting Caspa to make sure his castles produce a little bit faster. So that'll help in a Treb fight. That'll help get these camel archers out a little bit faster. And also getting another castle back at home. That secures a lot of his economy. 2 gold mines close by, stone. And the only thing I think he's missing right now is chemistry. And I think that's just because he doesn't have enough food. TaToH's going to play on, though. Oh, no. Viper's actually taking out the Treb with camel archers as well. I guess some of them are underneath the castle. And Viper should click chemistry in a moment here. Once he's done microing all these different units. He has now raids under his TC. Viper is able to re-wall with a gate. where he opened up earlier, and I think TaToH's relying on the Berber cheaper cav to overwhelm Viper. Viper now clicking heavy camel. That'll take a while to get in. I think Viper quick walls behind this. Well, oh, TaToH doesn't actually see where the Vils went. So he should be safe there. Viper up against 2 Trebs. And hasn't made any of his own. Interesting. Okay, I think TaToH has some breathing room. Vil counts are still similar. Rest collected similar. Viper with the slight lead. I mean, Viper also just controlling the production, preventing TaToH from being able to get out those cheap cav easily, is going to hurt him. Viper also can't throw away the camel archers here. He's making Trebs now out of these 2 castles. He's going to need a big Treb stack, and he's going to need to wall them in. Because, I mean, TaToH's going to be thinking, I have to throw my cav at this. But TaToH doing classic TaToH things of just consistently raiding. Heavy camel is in, so we'll shut that down. Heavy camel is a huge upgrade to camels. I think they get so much more bonus damage against cavalry. And what else do we have? Okay, not much for TaToH. There's the walls that I was talking about. The camel archers are able to block the cavalier a little bit. And TaToH has to go in between blocking and keeping this castle alive. I thought Viper had way more camel archers. He gets elite camel archer now. The Trebs, once castle goes down, the Trebs are exposed. Viper might be losing this a little bit. The camel archer's just shooting a TC instead of helping repair. Viper just clicks that to attack. Yeah, Viper has too many places to look at right now. I think this is the more important area, but Viper went for this bottom push as well. I mean, sure, there's gold here, but once you take the top control, you're in a much better position. Maybe just didn't think that TaToH would be able to push that as easily as he has. I didn't think so. I thought this castle from TaToH was just... Okay. Okay. Clearly I'm missing something from TaToH's economy. I thought TaToH was doing a good job pushing this back, but maybe he's lost confidence when he sees heavy camel. Or maybe he thinks Viper's further ahead than he is because of the score. Yeah, I guess he can't raid and take out the Trebs. So Viper takes this 3-1. Played really well today, I would say. Definitely better than yesterday. Had a few slip-ups, but nothing too crazy. I think the game he lost against TaToH on Fortress was just a case of being unlucky more than anything. What are you saying? 160 Vils? He has 160 pop, yeah. I do think it was an early GG, but maybe TaToH is also seeing the scoreline of 2-1 and thinking he needs a lot more than this to come back. So Viper continues on.